Perfect. Sorry. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Q&A. We can go ahead and get started. We don't have any specific topic to go over today, but I'm sure we'll get into a flow of one as we go. So you should be able to unmute your mic and ask any question you've got, and we'll go from there.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So with the new delivery app, if we use, are the phones specific to the route? For example, this morning we used a phone to scan or to scan the orders onto the truck, and then
hmm
that was a different one, and so the phone that usually goes to that route, it wasn't loaded on there. So are they route specific?
So no, they are not route specific. I would say they are based on what items you load to what device, if you want to
Okay.
picture it that way. So if I have two devices and I load one, you have to load the ones or the items or the orders that you are planning on delivering with that device. And then you can load it with the other one. But you can switch between multiple different routes. So say if I have three different routes, I can run three routes on one device. That's no problem. I just
Okay.
have to make sure that I load all of those items that are for those three routes to that device or that van.
Okay. Well, we figured that out this morning. Um, Going to the manifest, it wasn't there. So is there,
Yeah.
when he brings up the manifest, then can he manually rack those to the truck?
What do you mean by that?
Well, when he brought up the manifest, then it would bring up an order, and he could click on it, and then it would go to the manifest. But it was like they had to reload every order manually to get it to come up on a manifest.
I get it. So from your original statement, what it sounded like is that you loaded one device for the amount of stuff that you were going to do, but then you were viewing everything in the manifest from a different device.
Correct.
Yeah, so that is gonna show different. You can use it for viewing purposes to see what's on the manifest, but whenever it comes to two devices, viewing one route, one of them will load the van, or I mean, both of them can load the van. They just have to load two different things, and then they'll be able to load or deliver two different items, or different stops, I should say.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So it's best if they make sure that they plug their phone in and it's not dead in the morning when they get ready to load their racks.
yeah, yeah, that would be very important to have. Yeah,
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much. That's what I needed to know.
of course, yeah. And you're with Canyon Cleaner, right?
Correct.
Okay, I think I was supposed to get rates for you for Stripe, and I don't remember if I have them or not. Um, I'll double check after this to
Okay.
see if I had gotten those back yet from Stripe.
I'm going to need to go ahead and do that because my credit card machines are wearing out. My 3, 6, and 9s are not working. So that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Of course, yeah, not a problem. All right, other questions?
Yeah. Hi there. I'm
Hey,
Rachel from Villages
how you doing?
Cleaners. I'm good. I'm good. I hope you are well. Uh, we're out here in
Yeah,
Henderson, Nevada. So it's
awesome.
the first time on your Zoom question and answer. So it's nice you have this. One of my biggest alterations. Right? We do alterations. My envelopes never seem to be right on mark, and I'd like to understand when alterations are paid in advance and it goes over to, does it deposit? Yeah. It goes to like deposit. Now it'll still show up on my Z report. So the payment is put in. But what are my people doing when it doesn't? I think they're not fully closing, or there's something they're skipping, because a lot of times, I don't know if I'm explaining this right.
A lot of times it's in the computer itself, it shows it's not paid.
Yeah, like the customer will come in and it shows it wasn't paid, but it's like in deposit. So I'm thinking we're skipping a step. And so I wondered if you can explain the process of when you have an alteration, and we always have customers pay ahead of time for them.
Yeah. So this is kind of a common occurrence.
Okay,
One of the biggest things I would kind of stress to your counter staff whenever they're doing the pickup process
sure.
is whenever they're going through and they're clicking pickup, do they scan the ticket or are they clicking the green bubbles?
It just depends. Sometimes they scan a ticket, sometimes they just go by the phone number. Usually, though, if the customer was in with the seamstress, she's got hers, let's say $48, a couple hems, whatnot. And so we send them to the front to pay. So they give them a little ticket. So more than likely, they scan that little ticket, put the payment in. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hmm.
But I'm thinking they're not fully like finishing with the customer, like literally hit close. A pay is it because I get so many that they're still like in deposit, but so showing that they owe. I don't, I hope I am.
If it's run by the credit card, you can see that it's been paid.
Correct. I mean, yeah, we can check. Okay. So I wondered if there was, maybe you can explain. So if with alterations, is it in your system where it goes straight to deposit, obviously? Because we're prepaying it, right?
Right, yeah. So anytime that you take a prepayment, it's going to come across as deposited. So they are doing it correct in that sense. That's a good thing.
Okay.
You guys are getting
Okay.
paid for everything. The
Correct.
part that you're missing or that somebody's missing is at the
Right.
pickup part. Once you pick it
Okay.
up, it should pop up with a pay screen. They still need to hit the pay button just to make sure that those
Okay.
funds are paid toward the item. Um,
Okay.
but you have
Okay.
already received the money, or your company has already received the money once they've done the deposit transaction part.
But we're just worried because nothing equals out because
Yeah, it just always just seems like our envelopes are all over the place, and I think it's because of the alterations, the deposit part. I wish I had an example. I'll work on that for maybe next week's question and answer. Maybe I can have, an example. I was thinking like, how well it'll say at the end, do you want to receipt? Do you want to, that or close? Like they're not even hitting close. Like maybe it's important they hit to close out of the screen.
maybe they should print the receipt and put it right, staple it on
And
there.
that's what I do. So does that make
It
sense?
it sounds like they're doing everything. Yeah, it sounds like they're doing everything right. It just comes to the pickup process. Whenever the customer
Okay.
is coming back in to pick up their things, just making
Okay.
sure that you hit pickup and then that pay screen will pop up afterwards. So as long as so unless if they're getting confused and saying, "Oh, I've already paid this. I shouldn't have to pay again." You don't have to pay again. It just on
But we have to like check it out. So
yeah.
this is what happens. Like a customer will come in, they have an alteration to pay and they also had dry cleaning to pick up. Like that deposit will go to the dry cleaning. Like what are they that? You know what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at Chris.
Okay.
So the other thing to think about or to look at would be if the customers are set to auto pay. So deposits are specific to payments being linked to an order already,
So you
right?
have to
So
click on
if it's a
that one.
deposit, that's a good thing.
Okay.
So if they're set to auto pay, then you don't need to worry about that next step at pickup to say, oh, we need to make sure this is paid out. It'll get paid as soon as it gets racked ready. So when that ready notification goes to the customer and lets them know that they can come back and pick up their stuff, that's when
Okay.
it'll get paid.
When we scan it on our rack.
Right. Yep. Exactly. As long as they're set to auto
Oh,
pay,
okay.
pick up paid when ready or auto pay when racked or ready. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's all for right now. I'm gonna try that out. I guess, I'll work on that this week. I didn't know if anybody
Yeah.
else
And if
had,
you have examples,
I know
yeah,
that's
if
always
you have
better. Yeah.
Chris was able to find one and he said that everything looks correct. It's just that
Okay.
pickup process and hitting that pay button.
Okay. 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 Maybe they're just going too fast. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Of course, not a problem.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, I just want to know, is there a phone number? This is Mel. It's like, I wanted to ask a few questions and it probably shouldn't be in in public. I just a personal, if there's a phone number that I can call to chat, ask a few questions. That shouldn't be out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, can you give me a phone number for
Yeah.
that?
So,
Okay.
yeah, so we have a phone number. There's multiple phone numbers at this point because we also have a live Google Meet that's always going on during the weekdays as well.
Okay.
But your your best way to
Uh-huh.
see the numbers listed in front of you would be to
Uh-huh.
click the up in the top right, the support headset button.
Support.
If you
Okay.
click that button, it'll pop up at this time right now, it'll pop up another message box that shows you can join into our live chat with an agent.
Okay.
Or you can send in a ticket. Whenever you click the send a ticket button, it's going to populate all of our numbers
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
call in. And
Oh, I've done
but
that.
if
Yeah.
nobody
Okay.
answers, yeah, if nobody answers, don't panic. You'll just fall into our queue, and then we'll give you a call back whenever somebody's
Okay.
available to.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Let's see. We got other questions.
We had always been
Will, I
under
can.
the. Oh, can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, it was delayed on my end, I think.
Oh, no problem. The customer link to their customer account. So previously, my understanding was that we would send a template and give instructions on how to save it to your desktop for Android, right? And Android and Apple, I think, were a little bit different. With
Yep.
Android, you didn't have to save it to your desktop? Or did you? It was easier. Like the On My Way was easier. The contact card was easier to get into your phone that gave you the link versus Android.
Yeah, yep, exactly. iPhone is easier. It like automatically downloads into your contacts and
Yep.
produces a button that you can press. Whereas
Yeah.
Android, it's like a file you have to click and it
Yep.
downloads and then it or there's more steps to it. Yeah.
Yep. And are you aware of anything changing with that?
With that, the contact card, no, I'm not.
Not the contact card, with the app itself. So I'll give you more context. So I downloaded to my desktop, and on my phone desktop, what it says custom or CUSTX, and it has an icon of a hanger. And on the bottom of that icon, it's a symbol that shows internet. And so I don't know if you can see right there. There's two,
Okay.
and one of them has a little circle on it that shows internet. Okay, the other one doesn't. The
Yeah.
other one actually populated on my phone, and the only reason I know this is my accounts here were all kind of mixed up with my wife's and my mom's and whatever. So we went in and cleaned some stuff. And so putting in the email, what I ended up getting was a message saying download the app. And so which I did. And when I did that, what I ended up getting was the icon without the internet logo. And I'm trying to see if I have a photo. Give me 1 second. I think I sent. Oh, yeah, and to be honest, like how this actually really happened, I was looking at our competition, and I have an account with them. And so what happens is with their account, I ended up getting the same thing. And if you can actually see on the very top there, it says install customer app. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know how that's happening, because does that happen with every customer? And if it does, then I don't have to send a template anymore, because then it's saying install customer app. And then you can just download it instead of us walking through the template, save it to your desktop, blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense? And so what I'm trying to do
Yeah,
right
sorry,
now is
Chris.
I have someone making accounts, and they're using a screen recorder to go through that. And then, because I've lightly talked to Josh about this, and Josh is like, I have no idea. And so that's why it was like, jump on the call, and then if you can record it and then send it here to see what's happening with it.
Yeah, we could definitely do it, and I'm sure we could probably reproduce it too. I know
Yeah.
that previously it was like a walkthrough guide in the app after you had already opened it. So I haven't ever seen it pop up in that banner like that.
Yeah. And so that was with the I did that at Corey's, and then when I cleaned up my account, it happened on my account.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's either a browser thing or if we did update something with the customer portal app.
Yeah. But it would be neat, like if I can understand it. Ultimately I just want to understand it better, so that if we are the amount of information we're giving to customer that we can take a step out in our process, because we do send a template to we don't send it, we call every customer. And so with that, we walk them through that process, and then we'll send them information on how to do it to manage their account. That would save us a ton of time if we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll follow up and see what we can do. You could send that video to Josh and I, and we can look into it.
Yeah, I have someone working on it right now.
Perfect.
Hi again. So I'm like, what does he got going on? So, understand we're a family business. My brother, when we started with y'all, he was, running things. I worked the plant, so it just, I didn't have time to, learn. Didn't really send anybody out. So we had to be kind of self-taught. And I feel like now that I'm in this position now, I'm interested in knowing what more, like, what was that? What was, I think you probably offer things that we don't use, but I'd like to have like conversations about that. We don't use the camera. There's a lot that we don't use. My brother always just said, "Oh, it's expensive. We can't use it." But I am interested in, changing, and, if there's some kind of app. And I also wondered, like, payroll, is there any way to do like remotely, payroll with Smart?
Yeah. So,
there is. Oh,
yeah, I guess let's cover it one at a time. So first thing, what Will was showing was the customer portal, which is, it can be downloaded as an app as well. But it's that link that goes at the bottom of all the messages to your customers. Each customer has their own link, and even if they just signed up, they're going to get a link as soon as they sign up, or however they end up signing up. If they come into the store, they'll get a welcome message. It'll send them a welcome message with a link at the bottom, and a customer card or a welcome card if you're sending that out.
No.
And so they can use that to schedule pickups, to schedule and take pictures of their items before they actually drop it off at the cleaner. So you already have all the information. They can just show up, drop the stuff off, and everything's already there for them.
Okay.
Rachel, do you guys offer pickup delivery?
Do I what? Do we what?
Offer pickup delivery?
Oh, we do. We have a route, and that's, I want to build on that. We shut down one location, a drop store that was just, a few minutes away. So I want to build up the route out here.
So we use that really as a tool for route customers. Okay. So they can still have the ecosystem and availability through that. And the one thing with that app, if you haven't played with it, you can add annotations. And so what happens is, let's say you have a customer who has a spot on a blouse or an alteration. Right. If you end up putting a template together, and on their new welcome message or email or text that you send them, you provide that link, and Smart can provide that link for you. And then what ends up happening is you tell them what to do. They can take a picture of that blouse on their bed and then hit annotations and hit spot or alteration and leave notes. And then those will populate for your mark-in team or whoever marks it in. It will then populate for them so they can see it, and then full circle make that happen to go back. And so I think the biggest thing that I try to tell people about it is that you're building an ecosystem for your customer. And most of the things with Smart are free. Like, you're not paying more for that. The same thing is, if you want to we take pictures of all our garments. That also you can do for like $40. You're going to buy like a camera and an arm, and then you put it on your mark-in counter, and it takes pictures, and that's free. And so once again, if you start doing that and you look at the competition in your area, what happens is people are going to be like, wow, look, they take pictures of the garment. Yeah. Wow. And once again, for us, what we end up doing is we have production station at each one of our presses. And so what happens is the customer can actually see what step that might be in.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, somebody must have been talking. My sister and I, we heard about that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so once again, remember, that is a marketing tool.
Okay.
For what you do different outside of what your customers, because we have people in our area that use Smart that we compete with, and they still haven't built out an ecosystem or understand the value that's associated to that. But in the world that you're living in now through
Right.
Amazon and through Uber
Yeah.
Eats and you name it,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how people operate today.
Yeah.
And so if you end up just, literally like introducing them to that and then start playing around with it yourself,
Right.
it is really a tool that most people bypass and lose out on a ton of opportunity.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for that input. I really
Very nice.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Well, let me get started with what he said.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But
to talk to
if
somebody about, things like that, I would love that.
yeah, you can also schedule a meeting with Chris if you just put
Okay.
in a ticket and just ask for the meeting link to schedule with Chris. They'll be able
Okay.
to produce that and just send it over to you, and then you
Okay.
can click on the link and then schedule whatever time works for you and whatever he has available.
Oh, great. Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you again.
Yeah,
The remote for payroll, you say yes, that
right.
can be done? Yeah.
Yeah. So are you talking about remote as in, you want to be at your house and you want to be able to look into Smart and look at the reports and look at that stuff?
Yeah. Like I'm on vacation, whatever, and it's
Yeah,
payroll
wherever.
week. So yeah.
Yeah, that can all be done. The only thing that we need to make sure is that you have remote access on your employee account and make sure you know the username and password for it. And then we
Okay.
can show you it's the exact same thing. You just log in using a browser,
Okay.
and we can send you that link. It's
Okay.
essentially a browser version of Smart. You can use it anywhere.
Oh,
Okay.
right on. Okay. I guess I'll just put that in with Chris and talk to him about that also.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Other questions?
Terms and conditions.
What's that?
Terms and conditions.
I've mentioned it a couple times. I know that they're working on it. I don't know what step in the process they're in, but I know that it is in progress.
Got it.
So I did see that we updated the history tab on customers. Now you no longer need to go search and look for a specific date, time frame on each individual customer. You can just click on the customer's history, and it's going to show their most recent 100 orders. And that's just default for everybody.
Are you guys doing anything with the messaging thread? So right now what happens is if you open up if I go into our messaging thread and I open up all messages, hold on 1 second. All messages, and I go in here and it says view message. How come when I open up view message, I don't get to see the response? I have to actually go into customer view and then hit the message to see the response. Why is that?
Did the customer, can you tell if the customer responded to that message or?
No, I can see what the problem is without me going into the customer, I can see what the customer asked, but I can't see what the CSR responded to unless I go in and open that up. Sometimes
So
I don't
does it show on the
understand
right
why
side?
on the right side. Sometimes I can see it. I can see a response, but lately what I've been doing is I don't see a response, and then I'll reach out to our general manager, Johnny, and I'm like, hey, did we respond to this? And she goes, no, you have to go into customer view. You have to open up the message. She ended up saying that she spoke to you guys about it, and she was like, yeah, it's kind of a pain because you don't see it all in one window. And I'm wondering, are you guys aware of that, or am I doing something wrong?
I was just looking at this yesterday. Um,
And let me
I
see if I can
wasn't
find
having
an
any issues.
example.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the customer. 1 second.
Will, I just want to make sure I'm understanding as well. You look into the message itself, you don't see any response, but if you open up the customer, then hit the cell phone number, it has the response
Correct.
on it. Yeah, I've
Correct.
definitely seen that as well from my perspective.
Right.
I don't know exactly.
Hold on.
I assumed I was responding to the text message by clicking the cell phone number first and not actually in the message itself. When I fell into that, I was going to the customer screen, hitting the cell phone number, typing my response to it. Then later, if I went back to the message itself, look at view message, it didn't keep that. Like, it didn't associate my text message
Correct.
from the, yeah.
Correct. Right.
Oh, it looks as if you sent a new thread. That's what
Correct.
it's doing.
Yeah.
Right. I figured it out big time. Right. Yeah. So is there any way to get, because once again, you know, my job is ultimately I do a trust and verify. I don't want to like have multiple steps, and I don't understand in a thread why it doesn't do that after someone responds and then it doesn't update the thread link without me having to go into that customer and do it. You know, because
So there
most of
should
my
just be a reply. There should just be a
Right.
reply to customer button. You click that, and then you can reply in that same thread.
yeah, it's not a matter of replying; it's a matter of seeing the reply.
Well, the problem is that I think they've grown accustomed to going into the customer's account and creating a new thread by hitting that text icon, right? Whereas if they were actually hitting the reply button to begin with, you would see the replies.
Well, is that because before they reply, they need to investigate what's going on?
Yeah, they're
And so
probably they're probably looking into something, and then they're like, "Oh, that was so and so." They go to the account, and then they
Right.
text them back, and then it creates a new thread, right? So it doesn't actually
Right.
keep the replies that they sent. So if they actually hit reply in the thread, it'll keep the thread. That's probably why you see it sometimes and you don't see it sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Appreciate the answer. Not sure if I like it, but I understand it.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm the only one that actually responds to them. So, you know, I I am the person that executes and has to trust
Right.
that I've done it and everything. So it makes it a
Yeah.
little bit different. But the big thing for me was always remember to go to the actual message itself and reply within that message.
Right.
And that, you know, it's more of a training thing from my perspective. But again, it's only myself.
Oh
so.
no, you're 100% right. I mean, that's where I go in my mind is it's a training thing, but I already know the feedback that I'm going to get is like, hey, when we get this message, I need to go into the account. I need to get the history. I need to get all the data points before I respond. And then
Yep.
since they're already there, they're going to do it instead of going back into that message, scrolling through it, and then finding it.
Yep.
Now
Yeah,
they can
and
still access the customer's account and everything from that same message. They just have to reply from the thread. So like if Tyler's on the screen now in the top left, if they hit view customer, they can get to the customer's account and do everything that they need to or look into the customer's account without exiting the thread. And the same thing for the contact log. If you want to look at the responses without coming out that thread, you can easily hit the contact log in the top right hand side of the screen too.
So they go look at it there, they close that out, and then they're still in the.
it's
Exactly.
so big. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a management training issue.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I don't know how you would link a separate thread into that message without creating a whole lot of extra noise that nobody else wants either, right? I mean, so.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, I agree with all the information. I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
Right. I get it.
And me, I just have someone. If nobody's jumping in, Tyler, I had a few
Yeah.
people come to me last week or probably within the past 2 weeks. They've had their credit card declined for one reason or another, right? And they are pretty suspicious about the text message that goes out, right? Because they get 5 a week, or you mean like the spam is so heavy with most of it. So it was a legit decline, right? And their card was correct. You mean, but like they just came in and like, listen, I wasn't sure what to do. You know, I didn't want to click on a link because I thought it was spam. So I came in, right? Is there anything from, I guess has anybody else seen that? Is there anything else we can do differently to kind of avoid that?
Yeah. So I think the most common thing that I see is that people reword it, because I know that the default message mentions zip code and updating your card and all that stuff. And that's when people are like, but you still ran my card, or you still, have the ability to run my card. I don't understand. So most people just go into the template and change it and word it the way that they feel most comfortable, or at least the way that it doesn't seem so fishy or scammy.
Got it.
And so it's just an automated template that can be changed.
Okay. Yeah, it's under So just update the wording around that. But okay.
Yeah, and I believe that you can change it to send less often. But in your example, it was the autopay attempted to run and autopay. It declined when autopay ran, so it sent that notice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so there isn't.
is that the credit card? No, it should be under auto. Let me see what it's. Is it the credit card ABS check failed?
Right. Yep.
That's that one. And then the payment card decline. Okay, so it's under the automated ones, right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian, I think we had the same concern. People thought it was scammy. And I think that we did update I know that we probably updated our template, but I'd share it with you, but I don't know how to get to them.
I'll throw it in ChatGPT to try to make it
Yeah.
as friendly as possible. So
Just if you are going to copy and paste something from ChatGPT, make sure you
test it.
there's going to be some there's going to be some special characters in there that AI throws in there that's different than what Twilio recognizes, which
Yeah.
changes the type of code that it sends, and it increases the amount of segments that are inside of there, to where it could be something that's 4 segments turns into 16 segments, and it's costly to you in the long run, or it may not send at all because it either is A, too big, or B, Twilio flags it.
Yeah, I have the Twilio message segment calculator tool.
Yeah.
That I've used before. So
Yeah,
make sure
I think
to
they
add
just
that.
recently changed it, and so it's
Definitely looks
a
different.
little bit more difficult to see what's. Yeah, I think they did update it, but it's a little bit more difficult to see what you need to change. So feel free to send it to us if you do find that there's some issues, and we can look at it with you.
Yep.
All right. Very good. All right. Other questions? Looks like we had some people join a little late. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Hey, Brian, I think what we actually did for the credit card one, I'm looking at it now. And I think what we do is we ask them to log into their account. And then that takes away the scammy part of it because they're actually logging into their smart account. So you're giving them that link to it so it's not funny. And then they can actually see their history and all their information. And they know that it's coming from you versus them just emailing a credit card or calling a number and giving a credit card, if that makes sense.
Nope, it does. To point them to and that's what I usually end up doing anyway, from a conversation perspective, is click that link and then log into yourself,
Yeah. And on all your templates, do you put the account link? Or I think, isn't it, Tyler, no matter what, they'll all have it no matter what?
Most of them do. I don't know if I've seen a few of them that don't, but it's very few. The majority, I would say 98% of them are have the link at the bottom of it.
Yeah, you can remove it if you want to, depending on what the template is. But most
the
of them should
majority
have
of
it
them.
already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions for us today? All right. I guess I'll wait here for a little bit longer. Ramona, it looks like you might have
Tyler,
something.
this is Ramona. If you would follow up with me on those credit cards, I would appreciate it. It says that I need to do some additional action required, but I am not sure what to do. So at your convenience, if you could return my call, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. I can give you a call right after this.
Thank you.
All right.
And Tyler, I'm about to jump off, but the last 100 orders I think is excellent because there's too many. I almost every time I would go ahead and pre-select last year, last quarter, or whatever it was. So from a feedback perspective, that's excellent.
Oh yeah, I like it too. Even from our point of view, it's great.
Yeah, it definitely stops 2 or 3 extra touches for me. So
right, yeah.
All right, thank you guys. Have a great night.
All right, you too. Thanks. All right, other questions? If not, I guess we can end a little bit early. All right. I think we're all good. Everybody have a great rest of the week. Thank you.